In this video, I'm going to go over some essential tips for using Microsoft Teams meetings. Okay, let's get started. I have opened my Microsoft Teams desktop application. What you see in front of you is the Microsoft Teams calendar. Your Microsoft Teams calendar syncs events from your Microsoft Outlook calendar. The only difference is the view in Microsoft Teams calendar versus Microsoft Outlook calendar, and you also have more features and options in your Outlook calendar. Okay, let's jump up to the top right-hand side of your screen and click Meet Now. This is a good way to test out your meeting settings before actually getting into a meeting. So I'm going to start a meeting now, and I'll just keep this title the way it pre-populated here, which says Meeting with Training, and I'm going to start the meeting. So right away, your meeting box comes open, and here's where you can choose your audio and video settings for your meeting. Right now, my camera is turned off, but I'm going to turn that on. And right next to the camera toggle on and off button, you could see the video effects option. So if you click there, some of your background options pop up here, and you can click more video effects to show some more options that you have here. You could just choose to blur your background, or you can choose one of the virtual background options here. A final option for your background is to add a new option here where you can actually upload an image to become your background. If you go to www.nassauboces.org/remote work, which is this website right here, and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can actually download the virtual meeting backgrounds that are branded and approved for your use by Nassau BOCES. So if I click blue backgrounds, it'll download for me right here, and now I can upload that right into my Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to go to More Video Effects, and then Add New, and go to Downloads, and click on that file that was just downloaded, and then Open. And now my video background is the Nassau BOCES approved background. If you're seeing the Nassau BOCES logo flipped the wrong way behind you, you can easily fix that as well. Click on the gear icon right here, and then scroll down to where it says Mirror My Video. You want to turn that off, and then the Nassau BOCES logo will pop onto the correct side so it doesn't read backwards to your participants. While in the device settings, you can see here that you have other options for your audio devices. So always make sure that your correct audio is checked off for not only your speaker, but also your microphone. The auto default is always on for noise suppression, so that usually helps to keep out the background noise. And here's where you can also choose your camera settings. So if you have multiple cameras and you need to toggle between which camera is being used in the meeting, here's where you would do that. Also, I highly recommend to adjust brightness automatically. Once you have all of your settings in place, now you can join your meeting. Now that I'm in my video meeting, I'm going to turn my camera off and just go through a few more settings with you. Up in the top navigation bar, you have multiple icons, and I want to go through each one of them with you and what they do. If you click Chat, here is where you're going to see your meeting chat. This looks very similar to your Teams chat. You have all your format options down at the bottom. You can attach files if needed. If you click People, here's where you can see all the people that are attending a meeting. And if you are the host, here's where you'll have options to mute a participant and make a participant a host if necessary. If you're also the host and you needed to add other people to the meeting, here's where you would start to do that as well. You just type their name. It will start to load. You click on the person's name and you click Request to Join. That will send them an alert that you are in a Microsoft Teams meeting and requesting them to come on in. As a participant in a Microsoft Teams meeting or any virtual meeting, it is always best practice to keep your mic on mute while the host is either talking or presenting. To unmute your mic, you just click the mic icon one more time, or you can use some keyboard shortcuts. Let's keep going with the icons across the top right-hand side of your screen. While muted in a meeting, if you need to raise your hand to indicate that you have a question, click the raise hand icon. Next up is the react. These are great features for giving quick feedback to the host. I'm going to turn my camera back on and show you what the reactions look like. Again, I'm the only person in this meeting, so right now my tile is the only tile you see, so it's very large. So if I click react and I click the applause icon, there you can see my reaction to something that happened in the meeting. Next up is the view settings or view availabilities they have in Microsoft Teams meetings. So if you click that view, it'll give you some different options here. Gallery is the default view during a Teams meeting. It will include up to 49 participants. Teams large gallery view shows up to 49 participant videos in the meeting window at once. Another view option is the together mode. I think this is actually very fun depending on what type of meeting parameter you're in. They have different types of scenes here. You want to think of this like a virtual background, but it's going to put all of the participants in this virtual background with you. So for example, I could choose conference room and click apply. And now it makes us feel like we're kind of all sitting at the table together, which is a nice feature. While in together mode, if you decide this isn't the right scene for you, on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you choose the little pencil and it will come up with the other scene options that you can then change into. And now we're going to go on to the breakout rooms. If I click breakout rooms, it gives the host an option to choose how many number of rooms you want to create, and if you want the teams to be automatically divvied up, or if you want to manually choose who goes into each room. Once you have set those parameters, then click create rooms. The next icon is apps. Here you can add an app to use while you're in your Microsoft Teams meeting. Everything ranging from polls to YouTube. Okay, let's click the next option, which is the 3 dots, and it says more. And here you have the option to record and transcribe the meeting. Keep in mind, if you start recording, every participant gets notified that the meeting is being recorded. Here, if you click meeting notes, I think this is a really great feature, especially for people who like to be able to take notes at the same time that they're in a meeting, but not necessarily wanting to handwrite notes. Again, if you decide that you need to change your virtual background from your original settings, you'll find that video effects option here in the 3 dots. Next up is language and speech. This gives you the option to turn on live captions. Again, this is a great option for translating in different languages when you're in a virtual meeting. Turning on live captions gives you the ability to have a transcript that will appear in whatever language you choose. So they want you to set what language everyone is speaking in the meeting. So the spoken language here is English in this meeting, so I'm going to click confirm. And now as I speak, you can see at the bottom of my screen, a bar has popped up and everything that I'm saying is now being transcribed on the bottom of the screen for any meeting participants to be able to read. If at any point you need to change the language settings, you can click the 3 dots on the bottom right-hand side of the captions bar, and then you can change the spoken language or change the caption option. So I already set that the spoken language is English, but I want to change the caption option into a different language. So I'm going to change the translation to Spanish. So now again, as I speak, my participants are hearing my natural spoken language, which is English, but my live captions are showing up in Spanish. This is really an incredible feature that's offered in Microsoft Teams meetings. If you need to turn off the captions, again, 3 dots at the top right, click on language and speech, and then turn off live captions. And finally, in more, you have the settings option. So again, similar to that first gear settings icon that we saw before I joined the meeting, This again gives you the option in case you're having to switch out your speaker or your camera settings. Here's where you would do that. Okay, next up is the meeting options. Here you have the option as the host to be able to set specific features that you want available or not available for your meeting participants. Once you have all your meeting options set the way that you want for that meeting, you click save and you're good to go. Next up in settings, you have the option to turn on some accessibility features. While in a Microsoft Teams meeting, look for the 3 dots on top of any participant's tile. There it will give you 3 options. You can pin that participant for yourself, meaning that that participant's tile will now be pinned to your screen so you can always see that person. You can also hide a participant, or you can spotlight a participant for everyone if you are the host. And finally, I wanted to show you some of the share options. If you click the share button up on the top right-hand side, I'm going to start with something that's very, very important. At the top of the share options bar, you'll see this tiny little toggle option, which says include computer sound. If you are sharing your screen during a meeting and need the participants to hear the sound of what you are sharing, you must toggle this button on first before you share the window or the screen that will include sound. Up next is presenter mode. This is a great feature so that when you as the host are presenting, you can choose where you are on the screen. I encourage you to check out presenter mode. It's definitely a really unique feature that Teams has. Next up, you can choose to share your screen. If you have multiple monitors and multiple screens, they will show both screens and you choose which one you are sharing with participants. When you are sharing your whole screen, everything is visible to all participants that you have available on your screen. Next up is window. If you choose window option, it's going to give you all of the windows that you have open on your computer, and you can choose exactly which window you are wanting to share with your participants. Again, if a window you're sharing has sound and you need the sound to be shared with your participants, don't forget to toggle on the include computer sound option at the top of your screen. Next up is the Microsoft Whiteboard. So if you want to collaborate with your participants in a Teams meeting, you can share your screen as a whiteboard. You and all of your participants will be interacting with that whiteboard all together. And some new features that Microsoft Teams has rolled out is PowerPoint Live and Excel Live. And finally, you do have the option to upload files so you can share your screen and present those files to your meeting participants. When you leave the meeting, you either can just click the big red leave button up on the top right. And if you're the host, you can choose to leave the meeting and the participants stay in the meeting, or you can choose to end the meeting for all. Now you know some essential tips for using Microsoft Teams meetings. Have you registered for my next webinar? And have you checked out all of the great Microsoft resources and tools on our website? And also, stay tuned for next week's What the Tuck tip. See you then.